Let's dive right into this explainer and look at a fascinating high-stakes digital cat and mouse game that's happening right now between hackers and modern security systems. We're talking about the truth behind MFA and why having just your password isn't enough for the bad guys anymore.
Imagine this for a second. A hacker, sitting halfway across the world, has your exact username and your exact password. They hit enter, fully expecting unfettered access to your bank or your email. The screen says login successful, but then, bam, they get slapped with a verification failed error. They're completely aucked out. We're going to explore exactly why this happens and honestly, why the era of the password is just dead.
Now, to understand why passwords are fundamentally broken, we kind of have to accept a pretty harsh reality. Your password has likely already been leaked. I know, it's not fun to hear, but in massive data breaches from major platforms, we're talking Facebook, LinkedIn, Adobe, billions of credentials have just spilled right out onto dark web forums. To put that into perspective, the famous RockU 2021 compilation alone exposed 8.4 billion passwords. That's more than the entire human population. So modern hackers, they rarely sit around guessing your password anymore. They literally just download a spreadsheet.
So, what do they do with these massive lists? They weaponize them using a technique called credential stuffing. And it's pretty devastating. They aren't typing these in manually, oh no. Instead, they use automated botnets to rapidly fire that exact same email and password combination across hundreds of different websites every single second. They are banking on our terrible human habit of reusing the same password everywhere. If just one obscure site you use gets breached, boom, they instantly hold the keys to your entire digital life.
To stop this relentless, automated army of bots, the tech industry had to force a massive paradigm shift. Enter multi-factor authentication, or MFA. The core concept here is wonderfully simple but incredibly effective. It's just no longer enough to prove you know a password. The system demands proof that you are actually physically there. It throws up a mandatory roadblock that a digital bot simply cannot navigate on its own.
This whole defense relies on a really strict rule of three. These are basically the foundational pillars of authentication. A factor has to be something you know, like a password or a PIN, something you have, like your smartphone or a physical security key, or something you are, like your fingerprint or your face. By combining at least two of these distinct categories, an attacker who steals your password is just stopped cold. Why? Because even if they have what you know, they definitely don't hold your physical device and, well, they certainly aren't you.
Now, the most common form of this that we all see every day is the one-time password, or OTP. You know the exact mechanics here. You enter your password, the server generates a random 6-digit code with a strict 30-second ticking clock, and it shoots it over to your phone via text message. Inputting that code proves you physically possess that registered device at that exact moment in time.
But as you might guess, threats evolved. Sophisticated hackers actually started intercepting those SMS texts. So enterprises moved over to authenticator apps. These use time-based one-time passwords. When you first scan a QR code to set it up, your phone and the website exchange this invisible secret key. And from then on, and this is the cool part, it happens entirely offline. Your phone mathematically syncs that secret key with the current time to generate a constant stream of new codes right on your device. So, 654321 seamlessly becomes 128942, safely inside your phone.
This offline, math-based generation sounds incredibly robust, right? But it really begs a crucial question. Is this traditional MFA truly invincible? Like, if a hacker has your leaked password but absolutely zero access to your phone or your authenticator app, are you 100% safe from attack? Well, the short answer is no. Hackers found a really clever, deeply psychological loophole.
It turns out human error is the ultimate system breaker. Hackers exploit us using deceptive visual tricks. They'll craft a fake login page that is visually identical to the real one. They might do something as simple as swapping a lowercase l for the number 1, or maybe a 0 for an O in the web address. They are relying entirely on our cognitive blind spots. You know, the simple fact that our brains will just completely gloss over a single character discrepancy when we're in a rush to log in.
And that brings us to the terrifying reality of an adversary in the middle, or AITM attack. See, the hacker isn't actually trying to crack the complex math of your authenticator app. That's too hard. Instead, they simply trick you into doing the heavy lifting. Think about it. You click a bad link, you land on their fake site, and you type in your password. The fake site realistically prompts you for your MFA code. You check your phone, type in the live digits, and in real time, the hacker's server instantly forwards your valid credentials right to the actual website. You just acted as the bypass. You literally just handed them the keys to the castle.
So, if the flawed human eye is the weak link here, the only real solution is to remove it from the equation entirely. Enter the ultimate unfishable resolution to this massive problem, the FIDO2 standard, and physical USB security keys like the YubiKey. These devices are intentionally designed to take the human eye completely out of the verification process. They handle security automatically in the background, using heavy cryptography, without ever relying on you to manually type a code that some fake website can just steal. Let me explain why this technology is an absolute game changer. Let's say you do get tricked. You click a bad link and land on that fake Google 1E phishing site with the number 1 instead of an L. When prompted to log in, you tap your USB security key. Well, the FIDO2 standard uses something called origin binding. It automatically checks the underlying digital URL it's communicating with against its original registration. The key's hardware actually realizes, wait a minute, this is Google1E.com, it's a trap, and it completely blocks the login attempt. It throws a signature rejection error and keeps you perfectly safe, even when your own eyes were totally fooled.
We have honestly spent the last 20 years believing that a complex password was the absolute pinnacle of digital safety. But the reality? Human memory is, and probably always will be, our biggest vulnerability. The future of enterprise and personal security is moving to be entirely passwordless. Moving forward, our physical and biological hardware, the things you have and the things you are, will completely replace the things you have to remember. They are going to become your one true digital identity.
So the next time you get a verification code on your phone or you have to plug in a security key, try not to view it as just an annoying extra step. That brief moment of friction is actually the front line of a massive, ongoing digital war. So I'll leave you with this. Look at your own digital life today and ask yourself, are your most critical accounts actually fortified with unphishable MFA, or are your defenses unarmed, leaving your front door wide open with a password the dark web already has?